towards him.
A year later, stockmen in the Northern Territory staged the first ever strike by Aborigines.
These Aboriginal stockmen are on strike. They walked off the job over a month ago. Their wives, children and relatives went with them. This is the Wave Hill mob.
It started with a call for equal wages at Wave Hill Pastoral Station, but quickly developed into a demand for ownership of the land.
From a one little kiss and a lot of loving.
Jimmy Little, Australia's best-known black entertainer of the 60s, was another to join the fight for recognition.
Now, perhaps for the first time, you are going to see a film in which nothing but coloured people of my race are given the opportunity to express themselves and tell you of the problems which have prevented them from their rightful place in this community.
They hung on every word I spoke. And what a grand opportunity to say, hello friends. Oh, by the way, there's a lot of Jimmy Littles out there who want the same opportunity.
Vote yes and give them rights and freedoms just like me and you. Vote yes for Aborigines.
The referendum is on Saturday, and it's important that we should have the maximum vote because the eyes of the world are on Australia.
After a decade-long campaign in clubs and town halls across the country, in May 1967, Faith Bandler and her supporters in the Federal Council of Aborigines and Torres Strait Islanders finally got the referendum they'd been fighting for. An overwhelming 90% of Australians voted yes, ushering in a new order for Aborigines and paving the way for unprecedented spending on welfare and education programs.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I didn't think that people cared that much about it.
It would take another 26 years before the High Court delivered the landmark Mabo judgment, a final recognition that Aborigines did have a claim to their native lands. But while land rights are still mired in legal battles and the life expectancy of Aborigines remains a scandalous 17 years short of the national average, Faith Bandler believes the gains, 4 decades on, have been profound.
Today, we have young people walking in and out of universities like I walk in and out of my kitchen. Well, that was unknown not that long ago.
Lawyer and Cape York Aboriginal leader Noel Pearson says the referendum was a remarkable achievement, but he fears many of the gains in the past 40 years have been squandered.
What was not well understood back then was that putting people on a permanent handout would ultimately unravel the strengths that they had managed to muster together in 100+ years of prevailing against all odds.
Noel Pearson's tough love doctrine has antagonised many Aboriginal rights activists, but his call for Aborigines to start weaning off welfare and begin aspiring to home ownership and mainstream jobs is now being championed by the Howard government as an historic new direction for Aborigines.
There's no white saviour, be it in the form of an omnipotent government or a bureaucrat at the front line of that government. They can't save us, and they can't guarantee a future for our children. Only we can do that.
Look at this poor old tree.
At 89, Faith Bandler says hers is now a very private life, well away from the front line. But she often reflects on the extraordinary struggle she faced to bring the rest of the country along with her. Would you do it all again?
Oh, I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would do it again. Wasn't easy, but it was most rewarding.
The 40-year anniversary and the faith of Faith Bandler. Deborah Cornwall with that report. Statues in public